Welcome to the E.A.T podcast. It's episode number 34. I'm your co-host Jerry. Russ over there on the big side, buddy. How you doing?
We're having a wonderful week.
Oh, I can imagine. It's cold. It's snowy. You got about 20 inches of snow on Long Island. I got about 8 up here in Westchester. It's a winter wonderland where we are, right?
It's quite a mess.
So, haven't seen you in a couple episodes. I missed you, but we had the Crypto Hold'em NFT guys on, and then we had Sandro Pianconi on from GGII. A couple interviews with them, and now we're back to our regularly scheduled program.
I forgot why I missed Sandro. Then that reminded me. Yes, the $700 car issue.
Sandro's a lot of information, a lot of fun. I think we have a great relationship with him. And I like the company. I'll get into it when we cover stocks later down the show. But nothing negative to say about that guy. That guy's great. But I got to say, starting off the show, the big news has been the recent celebrity deaths. And I mean, it's people that we've grown up watching, laughing, and loving the things that these guys do. And women also that have just left us. I mean, Bob Saget, Betty White, Meatloaf, and Louis Anderson. I mean, I got to say, when Bob Saget, I think, was probably the biggest shock of the four. And Bob Saget, I mean, you grew up with him on Friday nights on Full House. I mean, that was your Friday night when you were back in school. Yeah. And
the Bob Saget thing definitely was a shock. I mean, Betty was too, because Betty was on fucking New Year's, like Jesus.
Yeah.
And Meatloaf, all right. Not going to lie. He was a fat bastard like myself. And so was Louis, kind of understandable that we weren't in the best of health. But Bob Saget, I mean, all I thought about was, I found him in a hotel room, his line from Half Baked of fucking Dick for Coke. Like, oh man, what did this guy do? He was a wholesome dad. Don't tell me this motherfucker had a heart attack from doing blow in the hotel room.
I mean, think about it. There's a heck of a.
I don't know. Did they come out with his cause of death?
Not yet. Apparently, it's going to take some time to have all that come back. But there is a heart issue in the family I saw, and they said it could be a possible stroke, but they weren't going to definitively say what it was yet. It's going to be a little while. But I got to tell you, Betty White, Louis Anderson, Norm Macdonald, Bob Saget, I mean, they're all up there, laughing and having a good time now that they're all together.
And Sidney Poitier, too.
He's gone, too.
Bunch of people right at the clip. We lose Betty on the last, we lost Betty on the last day of 2021. And now we're 1 month in. We're losing people like crazy now.
And it always happens in threes. It's amazing how it always happens in threes. Always. Loving the hat you got on tonight. You got the Rangers Winter Classic look.
I'm not really. My wife made a comment that I just don't think she even knew what she was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she cracked herself up, so I guess in her mind it was good.
That happens way too frequently. I gotta say.
It does. My wife's got years of mental therapy ahead of her. I got an easy divorce clause out. She needs mental fucking. Complete mental fucking insanity.
All right, so moving along with our current events. I don't know if you saw who's pregnant, Russ. Did you see the latest Hollywood couple?
I didn't even know Rihanna was with A$AP Rocky, or even what an A$AP Rocky is. But
I didn't know either. I wasn't in the loop that they.
I know who he is, but I didn't even know that they were together, or she was even pregnant. And God bless them, one of the, I wouldn't mind sticking my snoot in her derriere.
So now they're expecting.
My wife just stopped herself. Are you kidding me?
And so listen, I know we do a podcast and we have fun with it, and we kind of avoid some topics because that's just something we decided to avoid certain things. But Joe Rogan is definitely in a bunch of hot water with a topic that we've kind of avoided. Listen, he does a show. I love what he's saying,
though. I love his response. basically said, hey, listen, I'm not here to, spread misinformation. I'm here to just tell you what's going on, and what things that weren't facts 8 months ago are now facts now. And he just wants to talk to people. And he admitted that he's done wrong in the past, and that maybe it'd be better to get other people on that have, opposing views to what he wants. And just listen, I thought what he put out was pretty right. That he wasn't trying to influence people. He just wanted to let people that have a differing opinion talk.
You can have differing opinions. You can have both sides of the spectrum, whether it's politics, COVID, religion, whatever the argument is or discussion is. And it always leads to an argument, always, no matter what the topic is.
But that's us.
That's everybody.
Nobody wants to listen to a different fucking opinion these days. Either you're a fucking Trumper screaming, "Let's go, Brandon," or you're a freaking liberal calling everybody Nazis.
And that's
there's no in between anymore. God forbid you are in between.
And that's I like to avoid that on the show. That's not what I want us to get away from that everyday life drama, so to speak, of that and have fun. And Joe Rogan had a couple of guys on his show that gave differing opinions from what the quote unquote norm was, or what the conversation was from the media. And now he's taking heat from it, and people are removing their music from Spotify. People are trying to cancel his show and moving their music to Amazon Prime Music, and Apple and wherever else.
Two things.
It's ridiculous.
I had Amazon Prime Music. I love it. So let's at least not bash it. But
no, I'm not bashing anybody. Hey, listen, our audio from this podcast is on Spotify and it's on Apple Podcasts every week.
But that's not why I wanted to jump in. A minute and a half into the game, Rangers up 1-0.
Oh boy.
Mind you, Florida is like the most ridiculous scoring team this year.
Well, they put up 8 last night? I mean, buckle up, boys, because they're on fire. They're one of the best teams in the league.
But no, I like his response, and I think people just need to have more of an open mind. A lot of people are so locked into that. If you don't disagree with me, if you don't agree with me, that you're wrong.
And you can have a differing opinion.
If you put a 6 on the ground, one person sees 6, person on the other side sees 9.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, and end of rant, but I think Joe Rogan's taking some heat, for putting on a show and bringing some entertainment and some differing views on a big topic in the world. And I don't think he should be taking the heat for it. Like he said, he apologized. He said he's wrong. The people who came on were published. They were, well renowned in their fields. He didn't bring on some Joe Schmo from, the middle of nowhere who had no idea.
He didn't bring on the witch doctor from, Podunk, Florida.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't bring on, a nobody. He backed up who he brought on with facts when he put out his apology video or, his statement. Hey, Russ, did you see the McDonald's secret menu?
I did, but I did. I've known about a couple of them.
I never knew it existed until I saw the everything come out.
I know one of them's like a double. I think one of them's like a double cheeseburger with a McChicken in the middle.
So I got the items right here in front of me.
All right, so read it out to me. I'll tell you if I would eat it or not.
All right. Now, listen, we love McDonald's. It's something, I partake in at least once a week, if not more.
These man boobs were brought to you by McDonald's.
I got a son who loves nuggets, and it's going to turn into a nugget. We all know that. All right, Russ. So the surf and turf is.
Pass. I don't give a fuck.
You'll pass.
Listen to me. I don't care. Listen, I am a fat bastard. I love food. I love fast food. I'm not eating fish from any fucking fast food restaurant.
So a double cheeseburger got married to a fillet o fish.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
And it's got a middle bun like a Big Mac. It looks pretty good, I got to tell you.
Looks to be deceiving. The Big Mac looks like the most glorious thing on TV. When you actually get it, it's like 95% freaking bread.
True. All right, now the next one is the Crunchy Double. It is a double cheeseburger with chicken McNuggets and tangy barbecue sauce.
Oh, I think that.
Okay. I'm down.
So they put the nuggets on the bottom, double cheeseburger on top, and then obviously the buns on both sides.
Why not put the nuggets in between the double cheeseburger?
Hey, listen, that's a good idea.
But yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
The next one is the hash brown McMuffin. It's a sausage McMuffin with egg, and on top of it is a hash brown underneath, in the bun. So part of the sandwich.
That's simple. I do that now, just not with that. Listen, best breakfast thing in the world.
And
you get a toasted hero with butter, bacon, egg, and cheese, hash brown in the hero, right there.
not
So,
bad. All right.
Little
Now,
bit of
Russ,
ketchup, little bit of ketchup if you like.
this last one, I think I have to try this. I just
Wait,
have
hold
to.
on. What do you mean last one? I thought there was a bunch of them.
No, this is the last one. There's 4.
All right.
The 4th one is land, air, and sea.
Nope, you lost me at the sea.
So they took
no self-respecting person is eating fish from McDonald's or even Wendy's or Burger King or Taco Bell or wherever. Especially not White Castle.
They took a Big Mac, Russ, and on the bottom, above the bottom patty, they put a fillet of fish. On top of the top patty, they put a McChicken sandwich. This thing looks like it looks like it's 3 feet tall on the photo.
Listen, these things are stuff I never. I think I have heard of the land, air, and sea thing, but I'm almost positive there was a double cheeseburger with a McChicken in the middle of it. I'm almost positive there was, and I'm almost positive there was like a, what do you call it? A egg, like bacon and egg bacon and egg McMuffin with a burger on it. I'm almost positive there was those. Tell me you wouldn't eat a bacon and egg McMuffin with a burger on it.
Oh yeah, I've had a hamburger with egg on it now. So
that's one of my favorite things. Sure. A burger with an over medium egg on it. I'm sold.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but I almost certainly I remember a double cheeseburger with a McChicken in it. I mean, they call it the McFucker or something.
Well, it's definitely something I'm going to try. It's got my attention. It's got the attention of everybody else. Hey, also one other thing, Wordle has caught the world by storm.
I only have one loss in 8 games.
You have 1 loss in 8 games. I think I'm 6. I think I have 6 in a row. I fired off right now.
So I did send a text in our group today.
Yes.
And after I sent the text, I reread it and went, "What the fuck?" Because half of it didn't make sense, and I couldn't even tell you what I was doing writing it. I was somehow aimlessly in the kitchen, and then I looked at it. I went, half of it doesn't even make sense. It's like when to the, but so here's what I was trying to say is it's all based on 5 letters, unless you're going to change it in the future. Unless you're going to make 6-letter words, 4-letter words. But for right now, you got 5-letter words. You're going to get to a point where there's words that you and I have never even heard of, let alone actually used.
Yes.
You know, that there's no way you're going to get. But my biggest question is, I understand this guy created this game.
Brooklyn guy, Russ. Local guy from New York.
Yes. Which I'm still trying to understand why it's based on a UK webpage.
Yeah, good question.
But here's the thing. I applaud him for making a low 7-figure number on it, because realistically, it's a simple game that you can imagine will die out probably over the next few months.
Probably.
However, New York Times adopted their word games. They said they're going to remain free. I have a feeling, though, that if it goes to their website, the New York Times, they require a subscription fee
to read a regular article, right?
Yes. So is it going to stay on that website and New York Times is just going to monitor it? Or is it going to be absolved into their website where it's still free, but you need their monthly subscription service to get into it?
Right now, from what I'm seeing, is it's going to remain free. I'm not sure if that means just creating a new, United States website or, something that's on the main. When you first go to New York Times, when you go to their website, maybe because a link right there.
Yeah, because think about it, they remain on the original website. How would New York Times even make any money off of it? You're not going to buy this thing if there's not a way you're going to make money off of it.
They're going to advertise the crap out of it. You know that whether it's an ad before. An ad during each word attempt.
Sure. After you get to your 3rd attempt, you got to watch a freaking YouTube
watch a 30-second video. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're going to do.
Which I've had enough. I had enough with the goddamn videos. If I watch a YouTube video, I got to watch 2 goddamn ads. If I watch a Facebook video, it'll be like ad coming in 13 seconds. I'm like, oh, guess what? I'm only watching this video. Click. Like, I would love to be there. I would love to be there in some office with these people. Like, we want you to watch our video. Like, here's our new Facebook thing, and it says ad coming up. I'm like, okay, Good. Click. I'm done. No, you gotta watch the video. No. I want to watch the video. I don't want to watch an ad.
All right. So moving on to the NFL, I got to say, the big news today was definitely the Tom Brady retirement announcement, because over the weekend it was, yes, he's retiring. Then the camp of Brady came out and said, hey, not so fast. We're still evaluating things, and Tom's going to make a decision, when he makes his decision. And then the Brian Flores lawsuit dropped about 90 minutes ago, where he's now suing, claiming racism and a bunch of other things in the NFL, and labeled a whole bunch of things with the hiring process and the Dolphins. And we're going to get to that one second, but let's discuss Brady first. Obviously the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah, I can't not. You can't not.
I mean, you got this man crush with him, right? I mean, do you want a minute where you can just go off on a tangent right now and tell Brady how much you love him after all these years?
I don't know. I can't even explain it. After years of extreme hatred, I don't know. I want him to play another season. I enjoy watching him now. It's the changing of the team. My whole mindset changed. I went from extreme hatred to loving the fucking guy. And you know what it was? He was having fun at those Super Bowl parades with Gronk in Tampa.
Throwing Lombardi trophies from boat to boat. He was hammered.
He was having fun.
He was hammed that day. I mean, I've never seen him like that. I mean, he was rocked.
No, I was saying, he looked like he was having fun, and Gronk was just being the usual meathead himself. And I fucking love that. I love that guy when he was in New England. And as a Colts fan, it's weird. I can't, half the Colts fan base would probably kill me. 1-1 Rangers, Florida. Half the fan base would probably, crucify me for even saying that. But I can't help it. Listen, they're two polarizing figures, and the man's the GOAT. Even loving Peyton, the man's the fucking GOAT.
He is. Hey, let me ask you, do you think the word GOAT is thrown around too much? You think it's thrown around too loosely?
I think it's starting to now all over the place. Yes.
And I don't know why. I mean, it stands for greatest of all time. There's not multiple. The greatest of all time is the greatest of all time. Why are we claiming this one's a GOAT and this one's a GOAT and that one's a GOAT? Everyone wants to be a GOAT.
Listen, Brady's the GOAT. Listen, Peyton Manning is you call him the regular season GOAT. Nobody was better than Peyton in the regular season.
Phenomenal.
That was it. Brady got it done. I don't want to hear the kick. This was the kicker Super Bowl. This was the Vinatieri. Listen, he got him there. They fucking and they did what they had to do.
Yeah, I agree. But I think GOAT is used.
It's getting up there a little bit. I know. Listen, LeBron he's definitely one of the greatest. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time, up there. But I'm not calling him the GOAT over Jordan.
No, and you know what? That's a perfect.
There's one GOAT.
Perfect example.
Jordan is the GOAT, and for me, it's probably Kobe after. But but I'm fine with LeBron being there 3. He deserves it. But listen, if you tell me right now I have one game to play in their primes, I'm going Jordan.
Absolutely going Jordan. Hey, the Ranger game I'm watching. It's an ESPN special tonight. Watching it on my phone right here. So the Panthers' goal was just disallowed for an offside review.
All right, good.
So we're back to 1-0 Rangers.
You even go to hockey. You can say, Gretzky. I mean, some people would probably argue Lemieux. And I think as I get older, I might join into the conversation. But as far as still, you can call Gretzky the GOAT without getting fucking into a massive argument.
The discussion with that, and it's a great discussion, is if Lemieux was healthy, would he have broken Gretzky records? And you know what? It's a heck of a debate because
I think he might have. I think the biggest thing that would help Lemieux is that Lemieux, to me, not played more of his games in more of the modern era as far as I think better defenses, better goaltending.
Yeah, but Gretzky played on teams that just lit up the league.
I know, but they played on, like I said,
he played on all-star teams. I mean, look at the Hall of Famers that he played with.
I know, but it's to me, watch a lot of those goals that he had. The defense and the goaltenders were just fucking non-existent. Yeah, that's why I say, like, if you put Connor McDavid back when Gretzky played,
forget it.
I think that McDavid would be just as good. You can light me up on Twitter if you like for that. But just watch the overall schemes and quality of defensemen. I mean, these guys, were drinking beers, smoking. They didn't have the regiment that your average NHL defenseman now and goalies are fucking top physical fucking shape and top. Half the time they, back in the late 70s, early 80s, you looked like you was skating around fucking pylons, and the goalies wouldn't even go down, and you just
seriously,
So listen, I'm not saying they weren't great, but even look at it. You consider Grant Fuhr one of the best goalies, at all time. The top people say, one of the best, but the guy had a goals against average that was through the roof. I mean, there's a reason
the Oilers scored what, 5 goals a game? I mean, at 5 goals a game, I could have played net for them. You could have played net for them.
It's in the 4s. That's the problem. It's just that era. It was just scoring at will.
Yeah, it's a heck of a debate, but listen, GOAT is used way too loosely, and I'm not a fan of it. All
right, so
let's move on to the Brian Flores lawsuit.
Flores thing.
What a lawsuit that just dropped about 90 minutes ago or so. I was in the kitchen and I saw this drop, and he's claiming racism in the hiring practice of the NFL. 58-page lawsuit in Manhattan federal court, seeking class action status. He's claiming the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, attempted to incentivize him to tank.
Here's the thing. I did like Brian Flores before this. I do not think that he should have been fired.
No, he put a good run together.
If you did read that it came down to he had, I guess at this point, a hateful relationship with him and Tua. He didn't want him.
Yep.
And did not get along with the GM. And essentially they said, well, we're keeping Tua. And the GM, you're going to go. So that was unfortunate. But
Florida just scored.
If he can prove that Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 a loss.
Oh, boy.
If he holds messages, then Stephen Ross should be forced to sell the Dolphins and banned from the fucking league.
100%.
However, as far as is there racism in the NFL? There probably is some shit that goes on. I'm not going to deny that. Is there a lack of black coach? Yes. But if I'm an NFL owner, I am hiring who I fucking want.
Yeah, I agree.
I may have wanted Brian Flores. He may have been my number 2 target. But if my number 1 target interviews with me and I want to hire him, why can't I just fucking hire him?
Yeah, if I'm your number 1 candidate and I blow you away in the interview, the Rudy rule states you still have to interview some minority candidates and go through this whole process.
In good faith. But here's the problem, like you said, is if Jerry is my number 1 candidate, I'm going for you first to interview.
Correct.
I'm not going to interview my number 2 and 3 because I have to.
But you have to, according to the Rudy rule.
That's the problem. And that's the thing that's what gets me is I get it. There's a lack of minority coaches and GMs and offensive coordinators. I'm not arguing that. I agree. But at the same time, as players, owners of teams should be allowed to hire who they want.
Yeah. And this lawsuit attacks the whole process.
Thing is, there's never going to be a fair way to do it. There's not, if you sit here, it's like I said, is you're forcing a lot of teams to interview candidates just based on their color. Now, granted, it's possible that a candidate blows you away, but still, listen. If you have candidate 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I want number 1, and they blow me away, but I still have to interview 2 and 3 anyway, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not arguing that there isn't issues with the NFL that color may have involved. It's possible, yes. But listen, as far as hiring people for your business, essentially, yes, it's a business. We call it a game. For them, it's a business.
Absolutely.
I'm not hiring the second guy I want just because
you want the best of the best for your business is how they're looking at it. Regardless of who that person is and what they look like, you want the best of the best. If the best of the best is some female who is a college coach, a college assistant or someone else, and she's the one who blows you away, hire her. What's next? Are you going to start saying that the interview process has to include a female as well?
Yeah.
Right? Is that next?
He's not wrong in some things, but me personally, I think he just committed career suicide.
Oh, I can't see anyone going after him now. I mean, honestly, he's claiming the Giants did interviewed him just to satisfy.
Well, technically that was only leaked because of Bill Belichick.
Yeah, so Belichick sent out a text congratulating him, and he got him confused with Brian Dable.
Yes, he knows both of them, so he, I guess, confused Brian's in his phone and congratulated Flores instead of congratulating Daboll, and got a little screwed up. And that's how Flores knew that they already hired Daboll. But again, if they're obligated to interview them, this is the problem. You can't just reach out to Flores and say, I'm obligated to interview even though I'm not going to hire you. They can't say that because then they get in trouble for saying that.
He's also suing the Broncos in this lawsuit from his interview process in 2019 when he had a 3.5-hour interview in Providence, Rhode Island at 7:30 in the morning, conducted the interview with himself and 5 team executives. There's pages of detailed notes, analysis, and evaluations from the interview process that the Broncos had with Flores. And eventually they went on and hired somebody else. But he's claiming that there was something, I guess, fugazi in that hiring process as well. And, again, if you hire the best person, you hire the best person. He's also claiming, he wants an increase in Black individuals in hiring. He wants coach, GM, and coordinator. He wants their salaries to be at the forefront and everyone to know what those guys are making.
This is a whole new thing that okay. So, side note, there's also something being pushed in general of salaries in the United States. There was a whole, they want to make a law or some shit that people can see your salaries are all open. But back in the days, that was the whole thing, is you didn't tell anybody your salary. Your deal was your deal.
Your deal is your deal.
But
why do you have to know what Belichick makes compared to what Flores is making or Brian Daboll's making? What does it matter?
Yeah.
If someone's more experienced, or
it brings up another issue. I don't know if you saw the WNBA with Liz Cambridge.
No, did not.
She actually brought up a very good. She's been a little controversial in the past. She brought up a very good point. The new Las Vegas team, or whatever I guess there's a Las Vegas team.
Las Vegas Aces, I want to say.
Yes, hired Becky Hammon as their coach.
Okay.
At $1 million or whatever it was higher.
And she was the former assistant for the San Antonio Spurs, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. And there was a kind of a point that you hired her for $1 million, but your highest paid player in the league doesn't even make $250,000.
Which is interesting.
So it is a valid point that you're saying that there's no money in the sport to pay people more money, but then you're going to go hire a coach for 4 times the salary of the highest paid player in the league. There is a discrepancy there. There is a little discrepancy there. Do I believe that there is money there? No. Listen, I hate to say it, but nobody really watches. There is not.
Listen, the ratings are not the NBA. The ratings are not the NFL.
They're not even close.
It's not.
It's not. I feel bad. They deserve every right to make good money, but the ratings and the money aren't there. But she has a point though. If you're going to hire hire a coach, you're going to make 4 times the max salary. That's a little,
The other side of the argument, though, is, hey, let's just say for argument's sake, the owner is one of the wealthiest people in the world, and that's who he wanted. And she was discussing another vacancy with another team with another owner who's just as wealthy as the owner of the Vegas Aces. And you know what? And it took $1 million a year to get her.
I got you, but it does bring up an interesting point, though.
It does.
Oh. All right, so
let's get to the games this weekend. I got to say, we had 2 phenomenal games.
Yes, and Chiefs choked. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe the Chiefs choked like that.
Listen, when it was 21-3, I thought it was done. I thought it was over.
Yeah.
I think half America.
I rooted for the Bengals in my heart, but in my head, my pick was the Chiefs. I knew the Chiefs were going to win. And they were up 21-3. It's over. And then I couldn't believe it.
We thought we were cruising along here with our weekly picks, and that the Chiefs were, we were checking that box. That didn't happen. Listen, I got to say, Joe Burrow.
Listen, believe me, people were already probably buying plane tickets going, headed to LA for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then the Rams, I went to bed 17-7, 49ers up. Said, oh, man, going to do it. Fuck Jerry's pick. I woke up to Rams win NFC.
I got to say, Russ, I want to toot my own horn for a second. I went back last night when I was driving into Manhattan, and I got to tell you, I listened back to our previous episode with the NFL preview show that we did. And I listened back to, I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl and win it. Now, shame on me, and shame on you maybe, but we didn't bet it. We knew this was going to happen, Russ. We knew it.
Even the sun shines on a dog's ass sometimes, all right?
We knew it. All right? My pick is in the big game.
Listen, you picked the Rams, who were a top 10 team to begin with. If you had picked the Bengals, who were terrible, worst team in the league 2 years ago, then I might give you a little more.
I picked the Rams when we said the Seahawks or the Cardinals could come out of that division. Brady was winning the whole thing according to our, your picks and our discussion on that show. Green Bay was going to have a team, a good competitive team because Aaron Rodgers is on a mission this year, and Dallas was coming out of the East when you discussed that with me. The Rams were not the juggernaut that they are. They didn't have Odell Beckham. They didn't have the team they had. No one knew who the hell Cooper Kupp was when I made that prediction.
Stop.
Come on, the guy had 1,940 receiving yards this year.
Nobody thought he was going to have that season.
No one thought he was going to have that.
But anyone who has any interest in football knows who Cooper Kupp was. He still had.
But they didn't think he was going to have the year he had.
No, he wasn't going to have one of the most historic years ever.
So the Rams wasn't it wasn't a lock. It was a hell of a pick, I got to say. I'm tooting my own horn.
You can toot your horn. I'm going to toot my horn when the Bengals win 31-21. My prediction.
Really? 31-21, huh?
Bengals win February.
I'm writing that down right now. You're picking Bengals
31, Rams 21.
31, Rams 21. All right. You know what? I'm going to make my pick now while we're at it. I'm going to go with the Rams 35, the Bengals 28. That's my pick.
Never going to happen.
Listen, you didn't think the Rams were going to get to the Super Bowl when I made my pick either. So let's just see how this plays out.
You call the what was it? Oh, you know what the first bet for next year's season was?
What?
The first bet in Vegas on next year's season was a $5,000 bet for the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
why? Why?
I'd have to find it somewhere, but that's what I saw. That the first bet for next season in Vegas already was for the Jets to win next year's Super Bowl. And it was like five grand to win like fucking whatever million. Now, here's my only problem with that. That guy's a douchebag. I'll explain why. Right. If you throw a $20 bet or even a $100 bet on some crazy parlay or crazy bet to win money, I'm fine with it. If you have $5,000 to just piss away like that, you're a rich douchebag. And I probably hate you. 5,000 on the Jets. The Jets have to be 1,000 to 1. I have to. You know what?
They have to, Russ. They have to be. I mean,
I have to find it here.
I'm looking it up too. I mean,
I don't even go with the 5,000 to 1. I just go the +2. And I'm trying to find an Instagram, but of course, you open up Instagram, the first thing you see is an ass bouncing in your face. I got to go to BR Betting. There it is. It's a fun one to follow. And of course, someone on a $20 bet predicted a parlay of both teams' final scores for $500,000. Yes, here it is. Caesars Sportsbook just took their first wager on next season's Super Bowl. 5,000 on the New York Jets to win it all at plus 20,000. So I think about 100 wins 20,000. It's a lot. Yeah, it would win $1 million.
Listen, there is no way the Jets are winning the Super Bowl next year. There's no way. You pissed into the wind on that one. There's no way that's happening.
Yes. On a side note, this is FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay.
While we said that $20 parlay paid out $1 million, a $5 parlay that probably would have paid out, quite a bit too. Somebody predicted the both game parlay correct scores in the opposite.
The other way around.
Yes, Chiefs 27, Bengals 24, Niners 20, Rams 17. So somebody had the right scores, just wrong teams. Imagine that. To me, that's just as crazy.
Yeah. But, this goes back to our discussion that we had with Jeff Platt and, Ryan and all the other guys that came on the show over the course of the past couple of weeks, where this is making it seem like the ordinary guy can throw $5 down on a parlay, pick a couple of games, and bang, they're going to win big money.
Speaking about that, it's FanDuel Sportsbook. This was the other night. Five team $5 bet paid out $55,000. Scotty Barnes to make 3 or more threes. PJ Tucker to have three threes. Kyle Kuzma to have 4 threes. Ja Morant to have 3 threes. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to have 3 threes. And it all hit. $5 to win $55,000.
Jesus. Unreal.
Yes. And then another one on the weekend was $2,900 to win $154,000 paid out, which is a very, very odd amount. $2,985. Okay. It was Cooper Kupp, anytime score, Deebo Samuel, anytime score, George Kittle, anytime score, Matthew Stafford, over 225 yards passing, Jimmy G, over 200 yards passing, Cooper Kupp, over 60 yards receiving, Deebo Samuel, over 40 yards receiving, the Rams to win, and the alternative total is over 34.
Jeez Louise.
But that's very, if you're throwing out $2,900 on a 6, 7, 8, a 19 parlay, you're an asshole.
And it hits. I mean, that's the argument. That's the discussion. So now, after both of these teams have won, Russ, we have the Pro Bowl coming up next week, which is basically a glorified competition of no one hitting anyone, and they're throwing a football around.
Yeah.
And then after that, they got the Super Bowl a week after that. The early betting lines for the Super Bowl, Russ. Let me ask you: have you seen them? If not, I want you to guess them.
Rams -4, over under 49.
Correct. Yep.
I know, because it was over 49. I had to think about that for a second for my prediction, just to make sure it was over.
Yeah, it's Rams given 4 and over on the 49. I'll take the Rams and I'll take the over.
At least you'll win on the over.
So there's still some NFL coach vacancies in the league, and a couple of coaches got hired since we last did a show together. Obviously, Giants hired Brian Daboll, former offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills. The Raiders have hired Josh McDaniels, who had a run that was not successful with the Denver Broncos in the past, went back to New England, I guess learned a thing or two, and is now going to coach the Raiders. Vikings still have an opening. Broncos went and hired Nathaniel Hackett, which was the Green Bay Packer offensive coordinator. And right away after the hiring, the Aaron Rodgers rumors started speculating that Hackett was going to, make a trade or get Rodgers if he opts out of his deal or whatever's going to happen there. That's a whole nother discussion. The Jaguars, Dolphins, Texans, and Saints all have openings still. And the Bears hired someone that you're very familiar with, Russ.
There is no Russ. There is only Zool.
The Russ. The Russ. the
you
Bears.
You can refer to me as the Russ.
The Bears hired the Colts defensive coordinator. So tell us about him. Is it good hiring for the Bears?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, he came from the Patriots, actually, I believe.
Everybody comes from the Patriots. Everybody.
I know. Correct me. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive he was hired. He was actually McDaniels hired and stayed with us after McDaniels spurned us in the same week. Oh. If everybody remembers correctly, when we hired Josh McDaniels and he turned around 2 days later and went, forget it. I'm almost positive he brought him in and we kept him.
So Matt Eberflus was the defensive coordinator for the Colts from 18 to 21. Yes. Previously was the linebacker coach for the Cleveland Browns and the Dallas Cowboys, as well as having coached at Toledo and Missouri.
So scratch everything I just said from the Patriots. But I do want to say that McDaniels brought him in, and McDaniels came for the. That's why I thought then.
Okay.
All right.
Scratch everything I just said.
Forget it. Forget everything. It reminds me of forget everything. That reminds me of Mitch Hedberg.
Funny guy.
I watched this infomercial. It told me to forget everything I know about slipcovers. And then as I'm watching it, I know what the hell I was watching because I didn't know what the hell a slipcover was.
So the Broncos are going to be for sale, Russ. They're valued just under $4 billion, and somebody you know very closely is rumored to be interested in probably partaking in the bidding process for an NFL team.
Two things. Fuck the Broncos. Not really. I kind of like them. But before we move on real quick, as much as my back's already firing up, the Raiders hiring McDaniels.
Yeah.
Why not go with the interim coach? I thought he did a good job getting them.
Oh, he did a great job.
Recovering from the recovering from the Gruden thing and leaving, having them playoffs and making Carr look halfway decent.
I agree.
I got the hiccups and
I agree. I don't know why
they automatically just let him go and hire whatever. Well, I hope the Raiders burn in hell because I hate McDaniels. So, all right, back to the Broncos. I'm going to assume you're talking about Peyton Manning.
Correct. Yes, Peyton Manning. Did make a comment when he was at the Broncos Ring of Honor at that event and ceremony that they had earlier this year. He made a comment that yes, he would listen to any potential offers or deals involving him to be part owner of a NFL team. And right away, the word now is that he's interested in being part owner.
It would make sense. I mean, I think he owns also 1 million Papa John's in Colorado too. So
yeah, he's got the money. He's not going to own it outright, but he's definitely going to put the team together with.
On a side note, did you watch any of the Peyton and Eli cast, the Monday Night Football casts?
No.
I got to tell you, I enjoyed them very much more. Not that I'm a Monday Night Football guy, and that's strictly because I get up at 4 a.m. So
yeah,
I'm not staying up unless it's a Colts game, and even then, half the time I'm like, I'm out. I got to text some my uncle or cousin like, I can't believe they did that in the third quarter. Be like, me neither. It's crazy. I have a strategy too. I told you before, even with Ranger games, if we're up by a lot or down by a lot, sayonara, I'm out. If I missed the greatest comeback in the world, I'm sorry.
It happens.
But if they're up by a lot, I don't want to witness that fucking collapse.
All right, so moving on. Jimmy G and the 49ers are going to work on a trade to get Jimmy G out of there because obviously it's either Lance time or maybe Aaron Rodgers time.
It's gonna be fucking Aaron Rodgers. It's coming Aaron Rodgers. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, and I
don't know. Does Green Bay really want to deal him into the conference? He
does not want to be there anymore. And I'm telling you right now, even if they franchise tag, Devontae Adams said he wants to be paid $30 million a year.
Their cap is atrocious.
That's the other thing too.
They're $46 million over the cap right now?
They're going to have an issue. Devontae Adams wants crazy money, and Rodgers wants out. If there is going to be a vacancy in San Francisco, where he's from, the Bay Area, he's already expressed that that could be a destination. He's going to push everything there is for them to make a deal. He's going to essentially he's going to be turned into a supervillain and force them to trade him there.
Yeah. Obviously it's going to be, hey, I'm going to retire, or you can trade me where I want to go and get something in return. That's going to be the discussion. And his contract is his contract. So
he's a turd, though. I hope he doesn't go there, though, because I like the Ford. It's one of those teams that I don't hate him.
No, they've built their team the right way. They didn't. They're not. And I know Brady's your guy, but they're not the Buccaneers who brought in Brady and boom.
It's possible, yes, but I just don't. I don't know if I see him going to the East Coast down there. And not to mention, you got to think about this. Brady went down there. He brought them a Super Bowl, and then almost got there again.
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Rodgers goes down there and does not win a Super Bowl, he is cemented as not being as good as Brady. Which even if he goes to the Niners, wins the Super Bowl, I'm still not taking Aaron Rodgers over Brady. But I think right now he goes down there and he does not succeed, he's gonna be ridiculed.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
But like I said, is right now the 49ers are set up to win a Super Bowl. They proved it. They did it with a fucking substandard quarterback.
Yeah, they are. They're in the conversation.
So Jeff Garcia can say whatever he wants. Jimmy G's not a bad guy. It's just he's not a great quarterback.
Hey, tomorrow's Groundhog Day, and the Washington football team is going to finally reveal their new name.
I don't know. It's gonna be something stupid like the Washington Dickheads.
I don't think it's.
I think I actually liked the one that was like the Washington Red Tails. I think it worked well.
Yeah, Red Birds, Red Tails. I guess something.
No, I like the Red Tails ones. You know, that kind of worked, and then you got the whole.
Listen, as long as it's not like Washington Senators. Like, you really are we going there again with the Nationals?
The Commanders.
Yeah, something like that.
Just go with the Washington Sentinels, like with Keanu Reeves, and just change their jerseys. It'll be great.
All right, moving on to the NHL. Russ, there were 2 big jersey retirements in the last couple of days. I'm going to touch on one that was close to us, and that was the Rangers retiring. The Rangers retiring Henrik Lundqvist, number 30, to the rafters of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
There were tears in the eye.
You know what, Russ? I was watching that ceremony on my couch. And
crying like a little baby.
No. I was watching the ceremony on my couch, and I see out of the corner of my eye, my wife pops in. She just does one of these little ducks with her head. And I go, "What's going on?" Watching the ceremony. She goes, "Just making sure you're not crying. You cried during Messier night."
Even she knows. Even she knows.
Well, listen. We've met Henrik Lundqvist on that big Ottawa trip that we did for the playoffs that year. We met him at the team hotel, got photos with him. We've seen him, from the minute he was drafted until he retired. One of the greatest of all time. Obviously, the argument is going to be he didn't win a cup. Richter is better for that one reason. That's the argument and discussion that Ranger fans will have. But he's one of the greatest. He's going to the Hall of Fame. 459 wins. I mean, the record he put out there, if he had a little bit more scoring, they were winning a cup. That's going to be the biggest knock on the Rangers and the team during his tenure, was that just not enough scoring. I mean, the guy had a goals against average of 2 in the playoffs. You were right over there?
Yeah. Trying to get off a sock.
He's definitely an all-time great Ranger. I like him on the broadcasts that he's doing now with the pregame and intermission and postgame.
I just wish you would tone it down a bit. I mean, listen, we get it. You love the damn suits. Christ.
Listen,
you're like a casual polo every once in a while. I fucking hate wearing a suit. This motherfucker
is that guy wearing sweats at home, or is he in a suit?
That's what I'm saying. He probably has a suit to lounge around the house. Like he gets out of the shower and he's got like a machine that automatically puts on a new fucking suit.
Hey Russ, he looks good too, though. I mean, he looks like $1 billion when he gets dressed.
But I don't fucking get it. We're the same age. I feel like I'm 30. I feel like he looks like he's like 48. Like, oh, he's 38, retiring way past his prime. I'm like, the fuck am I? I didn't know
way past your prime.
I didn't know if I had a prime.
And another jersey retirement that happened was, Sergei Zubov with the Dallas Stars, former Stanley Cup winner with them and the Rangers back when, 94 when we all won it. But that was a nice touch that they did for him.
I cannot wait for the All-Star Game concert. Zed and Machine Gun Kelly.
Listen, I'm a fan of Zed. I got to say he's on my Spotify playlist. Machine Gun Kelly, I think a lot of us are more interested to see if Megan Fox is going to make an appearance.
Valid point, but this doesn't really excite me. Although you might be interested to know that Rangers are having a Steve Aoki night.
Yes, they are. It's happening right now.
They're going to have a little some added people to the competition. Manon Rhéaume, you remember, played in the exhibition game for the Tampa Bay Lightning, the first woman ever.
Yep.
And Wyatt Russell, for people who are not don't know who he is the son of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, and also was one of the main characters in Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Marvel series. So you're probably asking, well, what the fuck does that have to do with hockey? Well, it turns out he was a pretty decent goalie.
Yep.
He played a bunch of years in the minors as a goalie. So he, they're about to have a little fun. And they're also going to have some extra people for the skills competition helping out. Pete Lene or Lennes, however you pronounce him. He's Elevate02 on Instagram. He's ridiculous hands, and a couple of the people helping out.
Yeah, Pavel Barber and Zach Bell will also be partaking in the All-Star weekend.
Sure.
Russ, there were a couple of new events that were added to the All-Star weekend as well. The All-Star weekend is going to be February 4th and February 5th, so it's right around the corner, a couple days away. But did you see that the NHL added a fountain face-off?
Yes, I don't know what the fuck that is.
So this is a competition that is going to take place at the iconic Bellagio fountains. Players will travel by boat to the quote-unquote rink, and they are required to successfully shoot pucks into 5 targets in the least amount of time. There's going to be 8 participants, a qualifying round, and then a head-to-head final. The player who successfully shoots pucks into the targets in the fastest time will be the winner. Now, I'm looking at a picture of it on the NHL website from the press release they put out, and it's a picture of the Bellagio with the fountain show, and then there's a makeshift rink floating on the water, which looks amazing.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're going to find it. When is the game?
The All-Star weekend is the 4th and the 5th, so it's 3 and 4 days away. It's at the end of the week.
Oh, okay. So is the All-Star competition at night?
Yes, it'll be at night.
All right, good.
Yeah, All-Star game is during the day. All-Star competition will be Friday night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The All-Star game is going to be the 5th.
So that's Friday and Saturday?
Yes, correct.
Okay, no more Saturday and Sunday?
No, I guess not.
Bunch of crap.
I guess they're not going to compete with the Pro Bowl.
No, they just want the game Saturday night in Vegas.
That too.
But I'm sure they'll do something stupid. They'll put it on some obscure time on some obscure channel that half the country can't watch.
Like the Ranger game tonight is on ESPN Plus.
No, but didn't they do it at the All-Star game a couple years ago? It was on what did they do? Didn't they put it like on NHL Network where you had to stream it or something?
Oh, did they?
They did something stupid a couple years ago, and the game was at a very different time too. It wasn't like a Thursday night or something.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I remember one year in the past they did something stupid like that.
Hey, I'm looking at the All-Star game matchups for this weekend. They're doing that tournament style that they always do with the divisions and the team captains and everything. The times are still to be determined. The NHL All-Star game start time is not out there. Very interesting. I guess they're not sure on when they're going to start the game yet, but there's going to be an announcement soon, I would think. All right, moving on to the second new event at the All-Star Skills Competition. It's going to be NHL 21 in 22, and they're going to shut down part of the Las Vegas Boulevard. They're going to hang a full deck of oversized cards on a rack, and it's going to put a new twist on 21 or blackjack, basically. And it's going to be the object of the game is to achieve a hand of 21 without going bust in the least number of shots. And the player who wins 2 rounds is going to be crowned Puck Shark. So that's interesting.
All right.
I guess you're going to see what NHL players can really count to 21. And then also you're going to have events that we've all seen over the years, such as Fastest Skater, the Goalie Save Streak, Hardest Shot, Breakaway Challenge, and the Accuracy Shooting. There's also the NHL Fan Skills at Home event, which, Ryan Pulowski, that's got his name written all over it. And I put out a tweet the other day tagging him. So hopefully he submits a couple of things because that guy's phenomenal.
All right. Any news with baseball? Are we still striking?
So we're locked out. The owners and players have met 3 times in the last 9 days. Spring training is I'm gonna say was scheduled to start in 2 weeks, roughly around Valentine's Day, and that's now in jeopardy. These guys are still fighting over money. There really hasn't been that much of a significant, positive outcome from these three discussions they've had. The major holdups are still revenue sharing, free agency, and changes in arbitration. This apparently is a non-starter for owners, and if it's a non-starter for them, I would say that this is going to, end ugly if they're not willing to bend on those three main things. Obviously, the players want more money. The average salary for an MLB player has gone down the last 4 years, which I found significantly shocking. I'm surprised with all the money that like the Scherzers and everyone else that they're throwing out to these guys. The average salary's gone down, but also the luxury tax hit usually starts when a team spends over $210 million. The players want it to go to $245. The owners want it to go to $215. That's another major holdup as well. So listen, you got 4 big issues that they can't come to an agreement on. Russ, baseball's not starting on time. It's not.
No, we're already in February. It's
It's not going to happen. As far as the NBA, real quick, Russ, you have the NBA All-Star Game is going to be coming up shortly. But just to recap the standings as we go right now, in the East, you got the Bulls, which I think is a surprising Chicago Bulls right now, leading the way. Miami is in second in the conference. 76ers. Cleveland Cavaliers are a shock to me as well. Then you got the Bucks and the Nets, which I expected them to be in the conversation for being one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. You got the Hornets, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Hawks rounding out the top 10. And that obviously is the quote-unquote postseason playoff mini tournament, those 4 teams if the season ended today. Outside looking in is obviously our Knicks, which I got to say, they started off great, and they just haven't been the same team that they were at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure what's going on with them.
No, they've been running terrible lately.
Yeah. And obviously the West, you got Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, Utah, Denver, and Dallas in the top 6. Rounding out the mini play-in playoff would be the Timberwolves, Clippers, Lakers, and Trailblazers. I got to say, I'm honestly happy that the Lakers are not having a good year. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like LeBron. And going back to that GOAT conversation, I don't think he's the GOAT. Jordan's my guy. And I think a season with LeBron not making the playoffs or playing in the play-in game and getting bounced would be fantastic.
All
right. Real quick, I just want to recap the Sandro Pianconi interview last week. Huge news, joint venture with Cheech and Chong. Tweeted out some stuff from the TPE convention show in Vegas. Russ, I got to say, I like the company. I like the stock. I like Sandro and Jorge. I've met them personally. They're not,
Jorge.
Yeah, they're not blowing smoke up your butt. They're real guys. They're running a company. They're bringing deals together. They're getting the revenue streams in place. The day traders and alike that Sandro talked about on the last episode, they all want the stock at $1, and they want it at $1 like yesterday. I get it, but that's not reality. Let the man build what he's building, and eventually it's going to get there. Look at the deals they've done. Listen to the last 3 interviews that we've done with Sandro on this show. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. It's a company that I think is going to go somewhere eventually. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. And finally, we have a big guest announcement, Russ. Next week, we're going to have our close friend, Mr. Jay Boots, on the show. He's going to talk about hockey and the NFL and baseball or whatever is going on there with us. And then the week after, February 15th, we're going to have a show with none other than poker superstar Daniel Negreanu.
Hard.
Russ, listen, we've had Jeff Platt on the show twice, Phil Hellmuth once. If you asked me if Daniel would come on, I probably would have told you no, and hell would freeze over if that was going to happen. But we spoke. He's locked in. The Poker Go Cup is going on right now in Vegas. He is the defending champion on that. That event starts today. It runs till the 10th. After that event is over, hopefully he defends and wins back-to-back. but he will be on this show February 15th to talk about that, talk about the World Series, talk about hockey. He's a big Vegas Knights fan. He's got season tickets, originally from Toronto, so he's got the Maple Leaf connection as well. The guy is phenomenal, and I can't wait to talk to him about everything that he's involved in. And again, I'm going to be a fanboy. Going to be hard, as you put it.
All right.
That's going to wrap up episode number 34. We'll be back next week with Mr. Jay Boots. He'll be on the show. And Russ, any final words of wisdom before we sign off?
Nope. You'll fuck the Rams.
That's not for next week. That's for the week after.
All right.
All right, from New York, everybody. This
Don't
is
be a chump.
34.
Cover your stump.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Kingpin out there. Cover up your shit before you have 20 kids.
All right, from New York, this is episode 34. We'll see you next week.